The question is, can multicultural education and culturally relevant pedagogy be used to increase student interest in social studies? In any classroom today, you will find a multitude of students with different ethnic and cultural backgrounds. In today's classrooms, there are no typical students. Every student in any classroom comes from a different background. Teachers today have to shape their teachings and strategies to meet each of these individual needs.
What is multicultural education? Multicultural education refers to any form of education that includes beliefs, histories, and even values from multiple cultures. When a teacher teaches multiculturally, he or she is trying to give students an opportunity to experience cultures that are not their own. Teachers also use multicultural education when the class is diverse enough that it is required. Educators who teach in a multicultural manner have to steer clear of the ethnocentrism and only teach from an unbiased perspective.
An essential component of multicultural education is discussed in a great article by James and Cherry Banks. In the article, James and Cherry Banks state that equity pedagogy is one of the 5 essential dimensions of multicultural education. Equity pedagogy is defined by James and Cherry saying, "We define equity pedagogy as teaching strategies and classroom environments that help students from diverse racial, ethnic, and cultural groups attain the knowledge, skills, and attitudes needed to function effectively within, and help create and perpetuate a just, humane, and democratic society."
According to Banks, school teaching and learning takes place primarily in groups and through social interaction. Interactions between students and teachers and among students are important parts of the relationship between equity pedagogy and the hidden curriculum. This hidden curriculum is the untaught lessons that students learn at school. Teaching students about cultures and values that are different from those that are learned at home can be valuable to the students. If a teacher uses equity pedagogy in their classroom and involve as many different cultures in their classroom, they could change the minds and opinions of the students. There may be a student in the classroom that feels left out or different because of their culture or heritage. If a teacher involves something special about that child's culture in the class, this child will feel special and take pride in their uniqueness, and the other students in the class may take an interest in the culture and make the child feel like part of the classroom community.
A teacher can easily incorporate multicultural education in the classroom to increase student engagement. A teacher must research books and authors to find the appropriate multicultural books to integrate into the social studies lesson plan. This can be a difficult task if the teacher does not know where to begin. There are many websites such as Scholastic that provide many examples of books that contain many different cultures. If a teacher wants to teach using multicultural text, this will be a great place to begin. The website contains over 50 books, and it is divided into categories based on race and ethnic groups. The categories include Native American, Latino, African American, Jewish, Asian American, and other. Some of the books pertaining to that category are listed underneath.
The integration of multicultural literature is essential to help students understand how other cultures are put together and work. The book Fox Song by Joseph Barak is a great book to incorporate into the classroom to teach about Native Americans. This book is about the bond between a child and her grandmother. The little girl, Jamie, misses her grandmother who passed away, and she has dreams about her. She remembers all of the times they shared in the forest gathering berries, sap for maple syrup, and bark for baskets. Her grandmother told stories of how humans and nature are connected, and that when Jamie sees the animals, to think of her grandmother and know how she is never alone. This is a great book to help children cope with the loss of a loved one, and also to help them understand portions of Native American culture. Through this book, students can learn about the Native American familial relationships, their spirituality and close connection to nature, and also the enjoyment of listening to Native American storytelling. Another important aspect of multicultural education is making sure that teachers are using effective teaching strategies with their students. There are some wonderful strategies that teachers can use that will in turn create opportunities to share cultures across the classroom. According to Banks and Banks, cooperative learning, for example, can be an effective instructional technique. However, when it is used without an awareness of contextual issues, such as the status differences among students, it can reinforce stereotypes and inequality in the classroom.
Another multicultural book that could be used is Maasai and I by Virginia Kroll. This book talks about a little girl named Linda who learns about East Africa and a group of people called the Maasai. Linda begins to think about what her life would be like if she were a Maasai. Linda celebrates the things that are the same and different between her life and the life of a Maasai. This book can be used to teach students about the lives of children in other countries. Maasai and I can teach a child that just because something is different doesn't mean that it is wrong. This book would also be a great tool to use when teaching students to compare and contrast, since the book is comparing Linda's life to the life of the Maasai, to the life that they have here in the United States. In an article by Elise Blass, she states, "Use active learning techniques such as pair and share, encouraging students to talk to someone they don't know well. Students may open up about previous educational experiences. For those classes who are not as vocal, use a fishbowl activity in which students can write questions on a slip of paper and place them in a fishbowl or hat. Then the instructor pulls a question at random. 1-minute papers reflecting on the lesson can give insight to a student's culture, allowing the instructor to adjust the next lesson slightly without identifying the catalyst student."
One great strategy that teachers can use with multicultural students is visuals. In an article by Barbara Allison, it states that, in the research literature, visuals have been found to be especially helpful when teaching students whose first language is not English. Through pictures, teachers display visual stimuli that can be universally understood by all students. Visuals can be used in any subject area when teaching about concepts. Furthermore, hands-on materials and visuals that students can manipulate engage a variety of senses and help to make learning more meaningful, especially for diverse students who tend to be tactile, kinesthetic learners.
Another great strategy to use in a multicultural classroom is jigsawing. When a teacher uses the jigsaw strategy, she will place students into expert groups. She could count the students off by 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. The teacher would select a topic for the expert group to study. After the expert groups are done discussing, they would move into groups with a person from each group. These would be groups with a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Jigsawing is especially relevant for multicultural classrooms. Since jigsaw-based cooperative learning activities distribute tasks to all the members in the group, they are not only increasing student interaction, but can also get all the students to participate in the learning activities, thus enhancing the cooperative learning effects. For this reason, students are pushed to respond and participate.
In the end, can multicultural education and culturally relevant pedagogy be used to increase student interest in social studies? The answer is, without a doubt, yes. When teachers start incorporating instruction across the cultural board, all students will become interested and engaged. When teachers reach out to students of cultural minority, it makes them feel wanted and relevant. When we teach our students of majority about cultures of minority, they become more appreciative. Using content integration and cultural literature in the classroom can only have positive effects on the students. The research shows that this method of teaching is only beneficial for all of our students.